Hi everyone and welcome to Book Boop. My name is Rachel and today I'm going to be jumping on the bandwagon and doing the end of the year book tag, originally created by Bissett. I will link her channel down below so you can check her out. This is a really kind of simple short book tag, but it's a lot of fun. It's just questions correlating towards what you're planning on reading towards the end of the year. I can't believe I've already been seeing this tag out already because I'm still wrapping my head around the fact that 2020 is almost over. I mean, I say good riddance to it, but it feels weird because this has felt like the longest and also the shortest year of all time. So it's weird to be doing this, but I'm really excited about it. So let's go ahead and jump in. So the first question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? And my answer is no. I'm not the kind of person that will start a book and then kind of like set it down and forget about it and start something else. I don't normally just set books down halfway through and not finish them unless I truly decide not to, like I DNF a book. I usually either just read it all the way through or choose to just stop it and never finish it. I'm not the kind of person that starts a whole bunch of books and then leaves some behind. So I don't have any that I need to finish. I've already started because that would drive me crazy with my personality. So let's go ahead and jump to the next question. Sorry, that was a boring answer, but there you go. Do you have an autumnal, I can't say that word, autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? So I don't have a specific book in mind for this, but for some reason, so in the fall, I usually think of reading like spooky books, thrillers, things like that. But when I think of winter, I actually usually think of fantasy, especially like lighthearted fantasy, think like middle grade fantasy. And so my answer to this, at least not necessarily transitioning into autumn, but like transitioning into the end of the year to go into the next year, I think of more like lighthearted and fantastical reads. So I don't have any specific books necessarily. I know some that I'm wanting to read in December. I want to read some more of Tale of Magic series by Chris Colfer, which is a very like fantastical, lighthearted thing. There's just more sort of like fantasy books that I'm wanting to read. I also want to read Peter and the Starcatchers, which is one that I have been putting off forever, and that's like a Peter Pan, I don't think it's Peter Pan retelling, but it's like a continuation of Peter Pan, and it's a middle grade series. So just like very fantastical fantasy, kind of fun, lighthearted reads is what I think of to transition into the end of the year, just to kind of give a lighthearted feel as we go towards the holidays. Let's see, is there a new release you're still waiting for? No, there's not. After November, I don't have any releases I was waiting for. The last one I was waiting to come out was Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer, and that one came out, I think, at the very beginning of November. So currently, I don't have any more that I'm like highly anticipating to come out. I think there's a few I'm interested in, but any of my highly anticipated reads for 2020, their releases are already done. So I don't have any that I am currently waiting for to come out. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? One that I've mentioned several times already is Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer. She's one of my auto-buy authors. I think I own all of her books. I have an entire shelf that's like all of her books. She wrote the Renegade series, which is a superhero series. She wrote the Lunar Chronicles, which is a fairy tale kind of mashup sort of retelling series. It's got a sci-fi spin to it. She wrote Heartless, which is a backstory on the Queen of Hearts. So she's written lots of really great books, and I've loved them all. Instant Karma is one that I'm really fascinated to read because it's a romantic comedy. It's different than the kind of books that she has written before, and reading romance books or romance focused books is not my thing. So I'm interested to see how I feel about it, reading basically a genre I'm not really interested in with an author I truly love. So I really want to get to that one. I also really want to get to Hollowpox, The Hunt for Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This is the 3rd book in the Nevermore series, which this just came out, and I do not own this. I'm trying to hold it in a way so you can't see the reflective cover because this is my library copy. I'm definitely going to try to get to this in November. I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I just recently learned that I think this entire series is supposed to be 9 books, which is exciting because I wasn't sure if this was the last one or not. So I think it's supposed to be like a collection of basically like 3 trilogies all together in one long thing, but I think it focuses on Morgan Crow still. But if you haven't heard of this series before, it's a very fantastical middle grade series that has some like Harry Potter vibes. It kind of gives you that warmth of Harry Potter, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a good series, and I just made my hair crazy. You're welcome. So I'm really excited about that one a lot. And the last one I really, really want to get to is The House in the Cerulean Sea. I always want to say On the Cerulean Sea. House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This is one that has taken BookTube by storm. It reads like a middle grade, but is an adult book, which sounds like everything I would want. Everybody's loved this book. I legit have not heard a single bad thing about it, and everyone that's read it has been just shocked by how much they loved it, and it's become one of their favorites. So I really, really want to get to this before the end of the year as well, because it sounds amazing. I'm all for it, and it's supposed to have magical children in it. So how can you go wrong? Am I right? All right, so those are 3 books I really want to get to. I also have several books on my TBR cart that I've been sitting on there for a very long time, and I really would love to try to read some of those. Some of the ones I've been putting off for so long, so I'm hoping to get to those as well. So definitely more than just those 3 I'm wanting to get to before the end of the year. Is there a book you think that could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? First of all, I hope so, because I've read some really great books this year, but not very many 5 stars. Not many books that just really blew my mind and become new favorites. So I'm really hoping before the end of the year I find another new favorite, but some that I'm really hoping that I will really, really love. One, again, is Instant Karma, like I said, because it is a genre, a romantic comedy, which is not one that I gravitate towards, and not something I would just pick off the shelf, except for the fact that it's by Marissa Meyer. So I'm really hoping that book surprises me in how much I love it, even though it's a romantic comedy. I'm hoping it becomes a favorite. I'm really hoping The House in the Cerulean Sea becomes a favorite. I'm hoping some of the books that are on my TBR cart that have been on there for a really long time and I've been putting off reading, I'm hoping they shock me and I'm like, oh my goodness, why did I take so long to get to this? That's what I'm hoping for, because sometimes that happens. There's certain books I'm like, I really want to read this at some point, and then I just never seem to get to it. And then when I finally do, I end up loving it and wondering why on earth I took so long to get to it. So I'm hoping that I definitely have some surprising reads that become favorites before the end of the year. I would absolutely love that. Sorry, I keep fiddling with my hair. It's so crazy. All right, last question. Have you already started making reading plans for 2021? To be honest, not really. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the fact that this year is almost over. It is fast approaching. I know Thanksgiving's almost here, and by the time Thanksgiving happens, I will sneeze and Christmas will be here, and then I'll blink, and then it'll be the new year. So, so I know it's going to go really, really fast, and I haven't really thought too much about my reading plans for next year, except for the fact I have miraculously, and I'm pretty darn positive, unless something crazy happens, I should reach 100 books read this year, which is a number I never thought I would reach. I had a goal of 70 books, which to me was lofty, and I'm probably going to hit 100. I'm very close to hitting 100, and I should hit it by the end of the year, which is insane. So I think my only plan for 2021 is I would love to continue that. I would love to hit 100 books next year as well, because the fact that I'm probably going to hit that, and knowing that it actually is possible for me to read that many books in a year, I think I'm actually going to try to do that for 2021. So that's really the only plan that I have, is I'm hopeful that I can hit 100 books again next year, because I have so many books that I want to read. I feel like I never have enough time, even just in my lifetime of whatever time of life I'm blessed with. I don't know if I can get to all these books that I want to read. So I'm really, really hoping that I can get through 100 books again next year, just to kind of like tackle that big TBR pile I want to read that's on my Goodreads. So that's what I'm hopeful for. So that is the end of the year book tag. I always love doing this one, but I always forget about it until I see people posting it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that tag. So if you want to do this tag, please do. I would love to hear your answers. If you don't have a channel and can't like post a video for this and can't link it down below for me, just let me know some of the answers to these questions. Maybe just pick one if you want, or you can tell me all of them. I would love to hear your answers to these questions. If there's certain ones you're looking to read before the end of the year, or one that you're hoping will shock you and become a favorite, I don't know. Just let me know down below. I would love to chat with you about it. On this side of the video over here is my logo. If you click on that, you can subscribe to my channel, follow me on my book journey. On this side of the video over here is a suggestion for another video. If you want to watch it right now, better lean over. Thank you so much for watching. You rock. And don't forget to keep reading. Bye.